Hey, you guys. Happy Monday. Listen, thank you so much for joining me. I am your girl, Coach TaShon of Noon, and this is Noonday Nuggets, Remedial Entrepreneurship 097. And I am back with my girl, Jenese of the Plush Lab, the founder and owner of the Plush Lab. And she has come back this second week. If you missed last week, go back to our YouTube channel and whatnot. Look at that episode. We dropped some gems, some nuggets for you all as entrepreneurs. And we're back today to talk about the obstacles of entrepreneurship. Because basically, Noonday Nuggets it's really for those people who are pursuing the entrepreneurship journey. But IG, social medias, Facebook, all that has a tendency of showing the glamorous life of entrepreneurship. And nobody really wants to talk about the before the glamorous, the obstacles, the midnight tears, the frustration, the can't get my hair done, my nails done, can't get none of that done on this journey. But we are so grateful that God placed a vision within us so that we can pursue what God has, because he says write the vision and make it plain. And a lot of times we ask for this in our prayers, but we don't necessarily understand what goes along with it. So that is the purpose of Noonday Nuggets, Remedial Entrepreneurship 097. When you were in college, you had the college numbers: 099 math, 098 reading. Those were those lower classes, right? So we starting from the beginning, 097 from the beginning. So that is Remedial Entrepreneurship 097. So welcome you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure that you are sharing this out with your entrepreneur friends and whatnot. And let's get into it. So Jenese, welcome back, girl. How you doing?
I am doing so lovely on today. It's so cold outside. I thought I was going to enjoy some of it. And I said, you know what? No, this is not for me. I'm not comfortable being outside in the weather. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm like you. I took out I'm house sitting my niece's dog, Cupcake. And I'm like, okay, I'm like you. I thought it was gonna be a little warm again. And I had to walk her, right? Because Chef ain't going. He was like, that's your dog. I'm like, but it okay. So I took her out and I'm like, oh, it's cold. And yeah, let's come on back in. It's cold. Do your thing and come on. Let's yeah.
Look, right. We ain't going on the walks today. Look, we can walk 20 steps and back. You better do your thing during that time period.
Exactly. So yeah, it's cold. I got my heater on, got my coffee, and it's gonna be one of those warm days, like staying in the house. So hey.
Absolutely.
So how you been overall? You are now officially rolling with your 2 locations. For those who are just joining us, she was here last week and she talked about her location. She got a second location, y'all. Woo, y'all give it up. That is a blessing. That's an accomplishment and so forth.
Oh, absolutely.
Was that always on your list?
Yes.
Was that on your list to have multiple locations?
Yep, wrote it down. So I wrote it down, and so I was destined to have it.
Yeah.
The minute I signed the dotted line.
Right. And so we're going to talk about the obstacles, because I'm pretty sure you have your first location and you went through that process. Because tell us, before we get into your second location and the obstacles, tell us quickly how you came about the Plush Lab.
You know what? I've always been big on self-care. So and taking a time for self. Yeah. So I know I was good with my hands. So I just wanted a place where people can come and relax, really focus on themselves, enjoy the peace and quiet. It's like your oasis away from home. And before you know it, I was like, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And one day I just leaped.
Yeah.
I just leaped. Yeah.
But you were also, so you had a full-time job, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
You had a full-time job. Okay. And then so when you leaped, did you know what that leaping entail? Like, did you know what were you expecting? What were you expecting when you leaped? Because we hear these motivational videos. I know, like, you're like me. We hold each other accountable in our business circle. We send each other motivational affirmations and videos and whatnot. And
Right.
tell you to jump. Steve Harvey them tell you to jump. And so, and they will tell you that there are going to be some obstacles. But for you, were you aware of the obstacles that you were going to face when you leaped?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This isn't my first business.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn with each one. So each
Mhm.
one, I learned something new, what I should have
Mhm.
did before in hindsight,
Yeah.
and this, I knew it was going to be trials and tribulations,
Yeah.
because for anybody to just wake up and think, hey, I'm just gonna have it all tomorrow. I mean, that's a delusion in itself.
Yeah.
We can speak life into things, but we also have to be realistic. So
Yes.
unless you just hit the lotto, and even with that comes discipline. You know,
Right.
people get a whole bunch of businesses and still don't know how to run them.
Right, 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 right. I'm like you. This is not my first rodeo with business. So again, and I think most of us entrepreneurs, we've had those business opportunities prior, and it is hard, And I used to think about it as failures, right? I always say I failed on my first business, but I had to rethink. I had to get my mental right and be like, you know what? No, I didn't fail. There was just some things I didn't have in place. You have
Right.
to have that honest conversation with yourself. It's like there were some things that were not in place, some systems that were not in place. So now this time I know what to do and so forth. And then if I don't know what to do, guess what? I'm gonna learn and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So versus you just leave, because a lot of people thought that, because I left teaching, they're like, oh girl, don't do that. The time is different. I'm like, I get it. I get it. Financially, there's never going to be a right time. There's
Never.
never going to be that right moment. Like you say, if you hit the lotto, even with that, it's still, there's something. Now, some stuff you just don't plan for. Like some things you don't, because on this journey, for those who don't know, my husband and I have been going through a lot of medical issues, right? Now, all these years, we didn't have full-fledged insurance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, boom.
Ooh.
Here come the okie doke. And you looking like, Jesus, wait a minute now.
Somebody help me.
Right. On this entrepreneur journey. And so some things are you don't see. Some obstacles really do. They just come out of the blue and you don't know. And then you have to tell yourself at that moment, it's like, hey, I'm gonna do this. I know. And then some you're like you said, you plan for them prior because you've had that experience and whatnot. So and that's why we're here. We're here to have that honest conversation because again, people who just get up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna run a business today. I'm gonna start my own business for $9.99. I'm gonna start my own business," and they have no clue what it entails.
When you just mentioned the medical issues, and that's another thing about entrepreneurs, who you gonna call out to, who gonna take your place?
Right.
And like me, I'm a service-based industry, so
Yeah.
mine is by the day, and I don't want to be that business owner.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll hear it, oh, that's why I don't like to shop black owned business. I try not to be that business. So
Yeah. Yeah.
unless I am severely sick,
Yeah.
if I'm doing facials, something like that, guess what?
You have to, yeah. And I
Yeah.
can honestly say I've been getting my services done from you for over 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. And I can honestly say, speaking from an entrepreneur, there have been times where you're like, I'm not pushing, and I'm like, listen, you can reschedule my appointment, so you can go. But I have witnessed you push through because, like you said, you don't want to be that business. It's like, okay, I got a little cold, but I'm not feeling well. Let me go. And sometimes you just have to be like, you know what? Let me take my vitamin C. Let me, push through this. But if you're severely sick, like you said, there
Yeah.
have been times like you like, okay, I cannot do it. And which is good for everybody because you don't, if you're
Right.
unhealthy, you know, but I have witnessed that with you. And that's something, again, we don't talk about as a business owner. Your personal life cannot interfere with your business life.
You remember when my pipes burst?
Yeah.
And I said, I sent you a message immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, and my thought process was, what is she gonna think?
Yeah.
Is she gonna think I'm that business that just doesn't, you know? And
Yeah.
but you know what? You never know.
Right.
You
You
never
don't.
know. You
Right.
never know.
Right.
So I try to keep it very, very consistent. And if I do have to reschedule, I'll say, hey, let me offer you an incentive to let you know that I
Yeah.
do appreciate your time. You
Yeah.
know, so I think, you know, when you have a major conglomerate, you
Yeah.
know, you don't really get that one-on-one, you know,
Right. Right.
that
Right.
one-on-one. So I try
Yeah.
to make sure that people get to know me. Like
Yeah.
if you look, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
My pipes burst. I can refund you,
Right,
or we
right.
can
Because you did
reschedule.
offer that. You offered a
Yeah,
refund. I was like, child, please. And that helped because I'm an entrepreneur. So it's like I know these things. You didn't have any control of the pipes, you know. It
right,
happened. So I was just like, when you get them fixed, hey, I reschedule when you open back up and we're gonna keep it moving.
we're
But
gonna
like
keep
you said,
moving.
you don't know. So you have to treat everybody the same.
Right,
Everybody's a customer, whether I'm an entrepreneur and I understand or not, you still have that system in place. And you
right,
just pray that people really understand. And there are some people out there who just gonna be buttholes and
right.
try and they don't understand. And those are the people who really don't know the concept of entrepreneurship because they're gonna, like I said, pipes busting. I know for a fact you didn't wake up and be like, oh, my pipe's gonna bust and this, that, and another.
Right.
You were like, oh snap, because now that means extra money coming
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
out.
you're like, you know what? I'm gonna have to be closed for a certain amount of time. And then just like if you get sick, if you don't
Yeah,
have a choice, it's like, okay, well, now
yeah,
I'm going this week. Now I'm gonna have to think of other ways to supplement that income. You know,
yeah,
how
yeah.
many products can I sell today? Or,
Mm,
without physically having to be there.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so just being a solo entrepreneur, when you start out, most of the time you're just by yourself.
That's
You
it.
know, you're by
Yeah,
yourself, or it's two of you all, but still it's okay. I have to balance between work, school, or family life, or whatever else
yeah.
I'm doing. It's not as easy to when you have a full-fledged team.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Exactly. Because
yeah.
when those pipes bursted, you had to make all the phone calls. You had to get on
Oh
that
yeah.
email, send it out real quick. So and I can imagine that was that moment where it's like, okay, let me take 1 minute just to
Right.
regroup. Let me see what I need to do first. Okay, I got my household with my children, so I got to make sure that the pipes, the water, then I got
Yeah.
to move over here real quick, because I got clients today in the pipe.
Right.
So you really do, like you said, if you don't have a team, which most of us don't in the beginning,
Right.
you're this one person and you have to do and that is that big major obstacle that Instagram don't show you.
Oh no. They don't show that mental phone call where you be like, okay, your pipes burst, and you be like, okay, I'll be there in a minute. You know,
Right, right.
because you're doing it all, and it's like,
Yeah,
I got to take care of it now,
yeah, yeah.
So, and so a lot of times, even as a you don't have an option. You don't have
You
an
don't.
option to be like, you know what, I'll just take care of this. No. Because guess what? You also play the role of maintenance. You
Oh,
also play the look, look, that on-call manager, you know,
right.
I just went to sleep. I'm tired. So you have to you have to handle it then.
Yeah.
Just like me and you were talking about the other day when the computer just shut down, you're like, I needed to work. I needed
Oh
to
my
work.
gosh.
So it's not a guess what? Just won't have a computer for a week. Guess what? You up there? Okay, Peter, Paul, somebody.
Listen, I was in the middle, literally the middle of finishing the format for the show. And I'm down at the bottom. And usually it was saved on its own. It was saved. Then boom, the screen went black. And I'm sitting up there and literally I said, no, 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 no. You know that no, 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 no. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm trying to go through it. I'm trying to turn it back on. Black screen. I sat there and I cried and I cried and I cried. And
Yeah.
I had to have that moment. And I was like, okay. So my husband was like, well, you could borrow my computer. But I was like, thank you. But everything I was doing was like right here. And Mac I don't have a flash drive for it yet. I didn't have one. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm just crying. I'm just crying. And then I had to really regroup. It took me about 30 minutes to, get myself together.
Right.
And then I had to, guess what, pull out my phone and start working from the phone. As
Oh,
small
don't you
as it
hate
is,
that?
girl. And
Look,
then,
especially when I'm trying to make flyers and carrying, I'm like, and then I'm zooming in, okay, do this look right? Or it accidentally erase everything you did, and you're like, that
yes.
frustration of having to start over. Hey,
Right.
Johnny.
Hey, Johnny, what's going on? He's another entrepreneur, and I have you all in my circle because again, we have to, it and it's nothing. Again, if you're an entrepreneur with a job, it is just as much. But
Oh yeah, if not more.
right, but you do have a little, a little tad bit of freedom
Yeah.
and cushion because you can go to sleep and say, you know what, I can tomorrow I'm gonna go to work and I know I got a paycheck coming in and I can handle it, get somebody.
Oh, I
Whereas
got
a full,
leave.
right, but a full-time entrepreneur, you like you said, you have to tackle it right then and there. I didn't have a choice but to say, okay, let me go on YouTube and find one of these how to fix it.
Yep.
And I put it out there. Hey, I need a MacBook person, and that's gonna cost, like you said, that's gonna cost. But at that moment, you got to get this product out or this flyer out. So what am I gonna do? Get on that phone, like you said, zoom in. Hey, girl, I
Right.
was zooming, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah, and that's why you definitely need the circle,
uh-huh.
because I remember I had went through a period where I was so exhausted. I just kind of like the days would go by and I'd be like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna work on this. And then I start on it and then I'd be like, I really need a nap. And so,
yeah.
and I was like, I noticed that my business started slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine told me, she said, because she's a multi entrepreneur, like she got so many businesses, like I'm
Yeah,
sitting there like, where do you get this energy? But she
yeah,
told me, she said, it only works if you do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so but I needed to hear that,
yeah,
because sometimes we'll get discouraged in some things, and it's
yeah.
not because what you're doing isn't working, or maybe
Right.
it's not. It's so many things. It's so much trial and error in the beginning. So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, this isn't working, or this isn't selling.
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Even though I'm pushing it, and this, and sometimes I have to ask other business owners, hey, what you doing?
Right, right.
Give me some insight, because maybe
Yeah,
I'm a baby. Maybe
yeah,
I'm 6 months to a year in.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe you're 3 years in.
yeah.
Maybe somebody else is 10 years in. So you're gonna be able to get experiences from each of those. You know.
Right, right.
So now,
Exactly.
yeah. So now it's like, okay, it doesn't matter what it is. I need
Yeah,
to post something every
yeah.
day. I
Every
need
day.
to remain relevant, especially with social media,
Yeah.
and even the like emails. We don't want to do that either. I mean, it's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It is it the bottom line, it's a lot of work. And I think a lot of people are looking for the easy way out of entrepreneurship. And it's like we again, and it's not an attack on social media because we both use social media for our good. It is a very good tool. And right now, especially for our budget, let's take advantage of it. That's why I make sure I maximize my time when I'm on social media. It's about my business and connecting. But we social media has had a moment. I want to say the people have used social media to paint this facade of owning a business. And and then so you get people, and let's be honest, people look at that, they're like, oh, she's glamorous, and oh, she's traveling, and this, that, another, or oh, she gets to go out and have coffee and brunch every week or every day. No,
Right.
ma'am. Look, this is my coffee cup, this is my brunch. I
Look, that good old tea.
I get invites all the time, from my girlfriends they're not entrepreneurs, or some of them are entrepreneurs with the 9 to 5, right? And they're like, oh, we're going out to eat, or, let's go meet up or whatever. And I have to like decline, I have to respectfully decline because my pockets ain't there yet.
And you
Like,
and you and you go up, and you really go up and down. Like sometimes you on top of the world, where you like, if they ask, hey, you want to go out? Yeah, let's do it.
right,
And then
right, right.
sometimes you gotta be like, well, I have I have other things that need to get taken care of. And
Right.
it's just, and it's just about being responsible, because in
Exactly.
entrepreneurship, you really do have to be extremely disciplined.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're not disciplined, I've been taking a time management class,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
also do it, read books and stuff like whatever I'm not good at, I
Okay.
learn about it. How can
Okay.
I be better?
Yeah.
Because it's like putting yourself, whatever you don't know in the beginning, you got to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So guess what? Tech.
Right. Johnny said there's no quick route to financial freedom. It's not. And we're not sleeping. I hate when people say, I got an inbox the other day. Somebody's like, I can show you how to make 55,000 a week in 5 days or something like that. I start laughing. And you know how you type and you delete, because I'm like, okay. And I started laughing. I sent the laughing emojis, and I was like, okay, thank you. I respectfully decline. Ain't no easy. You ain't making that type of money in no 5 days. Okay.
Right. Like, and I'm sorry, like, unless you invisible, invisible, you can just walk through people purses and carrying on.
Right, right.
And
Or
then
you
that's
on
still
that,
a whole lot of miles.
or
Yeah.
you on that illegal side.
Yeah.
The scamming
I
side.
just think people really do. So they feel like I have to compete. I have to
Right.
look like I got it. But guess
Yeah.
what? When you're around people who really got it,
Yeah.
you don't got it.
You don't got it.
You won't got it. You just sitting up there like, I'll get a salad. The salad 43.99. So you actually, y'all, I'm fasting. I'm fasting.
Right.
I'm fasting today. Yeah, I'm on a spiritual journey.
Right. Or you pull out the little can of tuna out your purse and some crackers, and I can't get some water. Let me get some water and
With lemon.
lemon.
Spice it up a little bit. Matter of fact, can I get that water in a wine glass? and that's what it like at the end. I think people don't want to talk about that,
No,
or
no.
the mental health that comes with it.
Oh my gosh. And that's part of that, one of those obstacles I was sharing with someone when I transitioned from teaching full
I
time.
remember.
It was a mental journey. Johnny said, I'm literally eating tuna now. Listen, that's the entrepreneur. Look, we all know the deal.
Right.
I when I was transitioning, and I thank God for you all that were checking in on me, because other people like, oh girl, good for you. That, or some was like, girl, I don't know.
Oh
But
yeah, I think I called you the first day.
you did, because I had a coach, a business transition coach, and she helped me prior to that, but it don't really hit you until it actually does, right?
Yeah.
Until you're actually there. And I remember sitting and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then I'm like, okay, now I have my time. What am I to do? And I remember you did text me. You were like, how you doing? And I was just honest that moment. I was like, I'm lost. I'm scared. I don't know about this thing, because that mental part of it, and this is the part people don't want to talk about. You have to be in a good mental state, and you're going to go through those obstacles of doubting yourself. You're going to think, you're going to like, okay, Lord, I know you told me, but everything around me is not saying, and you really have to keep your eyes mentally and spiritually on whomever you serve. I serve God, so that is my faith. So I have to keep my eyes on my faith, and that's part of that mental journey. How do you keep your mental journey in the midst of all? Because think about it, you stated last week you opened during the pandemic. Am I correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you opened during the pandemic, so that in itself was
a challenge.
A challenge. Especially in your field, that was a challenge, but you did it, right? And then alongside the way, you have your second location. How do you keep your mental together on this journey?
So you know what? I also make the space for me. I make the space for me too. So so like from the set to lighting, exactly that euphoria I want to feel, I have to have it in my space. So like I go in there and I pray, I pray. I'll listen to some like relaxing music,
Yeah.
Because you just have to be in a good headspace as well. So,
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, personally or business, I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna write it out and pray about it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just made it for me, you
Yeah.
know. I made it for me,
Yeah.
and I wanted to share with other people. So
I like that. Johnny said you got to check in with yourself to make sure you're mentally sane and strong for this life. And that is the part that many of us we tend to overlook on this journey.
mhm.
We don't add all of that in because you got to be look, you gotta look you while you're looking at your friends and family. They can give $1 or two, or they can go out or whatnot, and you're sitting there like, okay, do I really want to go shopping and go eating out, or do I really want my business? And then some days you'll be like, you know what, bump it. I want to go eat and shop and whatnot. Let me
I
go.
said that today. I said that. I told my husband, I said, I can't wait to date again soon. Where we can go to do it together, because that's a part of it too. Like when you
Yeah,
become a full-time entrepreneur and
yeah,
times get slow, guess what? That balance, you have to check in, like Johnny said, you have to check in with yourself mentally,
yeah,
because on the flip side, you're feeling like, okay,
yeah,
even though they say they have me, you like, I want to contribute too, you know,
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to be a burden either,
Right,
and
right.
so then you have to check in with yourself, like, nah, you the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
You have to cheer yourself on,
yeah,
or even reach out to that network again. Hey, mental health check-in,
yeah, yeah. And
you
that's what I love about my network. I know last week we had a business coach, and she was talking about who was in her network, which are awesome, in that business, that when you're dealing in your business. And she posted those things, those people that's in her network. But for me as well, in my network, I need that balance of other people helping me with my mental, because if I'm a newbie in this thing, if I'm, even though this is my second and third rodeo, the obstacles are stronger. They're more, they're out there this time. Like I said, I had no idea we were going to face medical issues, and I'm talking
right.
about major medical issues that affected our household. And, I didn't know, like, you're already dealing with the financial piece of it. But when it comes down to that medical piece, the only thing you're thinking about is insurance. And how can I get this? And then, a lot of times it's too late. It's like, okay, you missed a deadline, or so it becomes a lot. And these are things that will play on your mental. You're like,
Oh
all
yeah.
right. And so you do. I like what you said. You create that space. I did create my closet, my space where I can go in there and I can meditate. Have I been consistent on using it? I'm gonna be honest, not yet, but
But
I
you're
got to
getting
start
there.
today. I got to, I got to find that balance. How do you find that balance? As because you're a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, a friend, you wear a lot of hats. And my hands off to you, honey. Like, because it's just me and Chef, right? And so I can't imagine you're like, you have all of this. How do you balance?
Sometimes it's imbalance,
Mm,
I try.
okay.
So what I'll say is I do not have it all figured out. I promise I don't. Every day I'm
Wait a
trying.
minute, hold up. Wait a minute. You're an entrepreneur, honey. You
Look, that's what
family,
they
you got
think.
your shops. You ain't got it together.
Look, that's what they think. A lot of people think everything look good on the outside, but everything you see costs. You know,
Yes,
everything you see is probably a debt. You
yes,
know what I'm saying? Because you're building. But
yeah,
I mean, I do not have it all together. I had
yeah.
me a moment this moment. I mean,
Uh-huh.
earlier this morning, and I was like, God, like I have my moments. I go in the bathroom. Lord, them tears were running down my face. I said, my eyeballs hurt. I said, my eyeballs hurt. I'm tired.
Right. Because you're
You
not
know,
gonna always have the lashes on. I don't have my lashes on because I've been crying for 2 days, right? Like you
right.
said, you've been having those moments for like,
Yeah.
and this is the real deal. And you know that you got to pick yourself up, and you know that you have your people to check in on it. but at the end of the day, it's you, right? And you have to and figure it out. And you do have to be like, I had to go in the mirror like you. I had to go in the bathroom like, Trinette, Sean, whatever you calling yourself today, let's get together. And I was like, you got noonday nuggets tomorrow, this week. You got all like, and you have to say, okay, it's going to work. It's going to like you have to talk to yourself.
And that's what I mean by that, that balance. You know, you have to try again. So I with life in general, with even being an entrepreneur, you have to try again. Instead of beating yourself up, I didn't meditate today. I didn't meditate the day before. So what? You can't go back and change it.
You know what? I'm glad you said I beat myself up. I did go to church yesterday online, right? And this morning I missed my prayer meditation, 5 o'clock with Pastor G. And I felt so bad, but I did pray, but I was not, you know, and I thought about that and I started beating myself up, right? And I'm glad you said that because you can't go back and change it, but you can start or whatnot.
Guess what? I can start it right now.
Yeah. I've been so tired. I was like, because yesterday I think I just slept. I was like, I'm just tired. I had all this stuff to do. I had, you know, I'm like, okay, it's Sunday, and you know, I'm doing my Sunday sanity, and I had this list of my self-care, and I was gonna do, girl, I slept.
You know what? And then some days you'll be like, yep, I got this to do, I got this to do, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You'll be like, huh? You know, it's a lot that you put on your plate. And guess what? Sometimes it's okay to take you 5-30 minutes. If it take you half a day, guess what? If I only got one motivational post, just know I tried today. I tried, you know. So it's not always going to be on the up and up, you know. Some days are just like absolutely amazing. And I literally, I may not have made a quarter. But the fact that I got my content in order that particular day, it might not have been all week. All week, you know, I might have been struggling in family life, you know, you just don't know. But guess what? If I made it through dinner without a toddler tantrum, it's a win, you know. If I got all my content down, if I wrote out a week, it's a win. And I'm gonna continue to pat myself on the back about it. You know, some days, guess what? I just got up. That's it. That's all I can give today. And guess what? That's a pat on the back. Because guess what? I finally sat down and sat in the chair.
That's major. Just to say, I got up today because we could easily give up. It is so, oh my gosh. I think I shared it with you and a few other people. Last week, I literally was about this close from pushing that submit button to the application, right? Pushing it back. I know they're gonna hire me. I know for a fact that I would get rehired in a heartbeat, right? And it was that moment. I'm like, okay, God, I'm pushing. I'm this close from hitting that arrow button and clicking, right? And then I had to go back into what I know, keeping the faith, you know. And again, I know I'm like, okay, God, and I think I posted, I'm like, I'm operating on coffee and mustard seed faith, you know, because it's so easy to give up. It is so easy to give up.
But you know what stops you? That minute you see one of your people in your network done shared your stuff. So you know it got in front of some other people. You know? Like, all right. Keep going.
And you know what? Let me give a shout out to Johnny. He said, that's right. Practice that faith. And I talk about Johnny all the time because, you know, Johnny over the years, he's always said, don't you believe in God? Don't you say you believe in your God? And at first I used to be like offended, you know, because he'd be like, don't you talk about your God in this faith? And I'm like, yeah, what? But he was absolutely right. He said, if you're going to have faith in your God that you're serving, and he says it right then you have to act on it. And he says, can't just talk about faith, gotta be about faith.
Gotta be about
it. And that's what you have to have. And so social media makes it think again that you're not going to go through these obstacles. And that's totally a lie. Because you're going to face something. You know, there have been like family issues, you know, just and things out of your control. Like you said, you gotta balance, you gotta find that balance of whatnot. Cassandra, hey sis, she is up from the West Coast. Thank you so much, BFF. That is my BFF. She can tell you,
Hey,
I've been
BFF.
for a long time. She said, you got to hold on to your faith. You tell me that. I tell other folks to hold on to their faith.
Oh, and you know what? I was just reading about that. I forgot what it's called when you like the faith keeper with everyone.
Yeah.
And then you start questioning some stuff. You be like, I need something.
Right.
Are you sure it's gonna work? I'm about to press this seat. I'm about to submit.
I'm trying to tell you, I was this close to pushing that submit button.
Oh, thank you, Reed Royal.
Keep pushing. Thanks, Reed, because you're closer than you think. Thank you so much. And it helps when you have that motivation, because again, it's a lot. And that's the purpose of Noonday Nuggets, is to talk about this
part of it.
This is part of it. And we seem to skip over that and we go into the glamorous life. And
we end up, you know what? And then we work so much, we end up working. But guess what? I'm gonna tell you, when I during the summer, me and my sister, we took our children tubing. Up in North Georgia.
Okay.
And that sounds like a straight vacation because we work a lot.
Yeah.
And you do have to get outside of work.
Yeah. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to, like, I started back doing the dancing. That's like one of my little breathers.
Ooh, right? I love it. Love it.
That is one, but now I need to incorporate like getting some type of sunlight, some type of air, because you're right. We stay, like, if I'm the computer is connected to my hip now. It's going everywhere I'm going, right?
Oh yeah, look. If it's not in your sight, you turning around to go get it. Oh,
right.
Make sure.
You're connecting with people, you're talking all day, and before you know, and like I have my schedule. My timer is set at 4:00. I'm supposed to shut down and gonna. Girl, last night I was up until 2:00. I got something on Netflix and I'm down here typing and working or whatever. I like that background noise.
Oh, Resident. Look, I was up there watching Resident. Because it's like, wait a minute. And see, now I sometimes I keep a notebook nearby. Like when I need something and it keeps slipping my mind. Oh, I gotta order. Yep. I gotta order this. And then I put it in my calendar too, as a task list to remind you. You got healthcare. Yep. Healthcare check.
Yeah.
You can set your physical,
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah, you really are doing all parts. But I think the beauty of it is, look, when the ups is ups,
we're gonna fly, honey. Listen, and I already told y'all, y'all think I'm playing. I got my list ready for those who've been flying with me. I mean, because again, and you get to the point, because let's be honest, it's an emotional journey too. Because you get to the point, you be like, why ain't nobody sharing my stuff? Or why, now I'm being transparent. For me, I will look at other people and I would get mad, and I get mad with God. And I'd be like, God, why did you place this vision in me? Like, I was fine being a teacher, or I was this, and then he had to remind me, no, you asked to have your own business. And I already birthed this in you as a child, right?
You call me.
Right. I'm like, why did you give me this task? I'm like, I want to go on some trips. I wanted to, and you start having these emotional, these talks and these prayers, and you're venting it, because again, other people are not going to understand it. Because I did have somebody that said, well, go ahead and go back. It's okay. And I'm like, you're not getting it. Like, you're not getting it.
Would you be like, I don't need to hear this. But you know what? I faced that as well, because the vision wasn't given to them. That's why they don't, like you said, that's why they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I've been like that too. Like we talk often. You can't
right.
Just a click. Just a click.
You
say send. Just a blue button. And we will get caught up in our feelings.
We'll
definitely get caught up in our feelings, and we'll sit up there and be like, start questioning all kind of stuff then. But the truth in that is, everybody isn't going to come along on your journey.
No.
Even if you want them to, it's not because you do try to maintain being a friend. You do try to remain relationship wise, but sometimes along the journey is sometimes it's time to separate, and sometimes it's just not healthy to try to bring them along. Right. It's not healthy for you.
Exactly.
We'll sit up here and study, be trying to pull people. I want to take these people with me.
Yeah.
What? Some of them don't want to go with you.
Some don't. And they just, like you say, they just cannot. It's not meant for them.
Right.
Because baby, well, let me tell you, when I get that first big check,
I want to treat everybody. Everybody on my list. Hey, look, this trip all on me.
Right.
Let's get it. I mean, you gotta buy your own clothes though.
Right.
You gotta buy your own clothes. We ain't doing that. But this trip, room and board,
right? It's on me. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I think, and I am very blessed to say, I know a lot of people. I see them and they're like, well, your friends and family ain't gonna do this for you. I can honestly say I'm very blessed to have my family. Not just my immediate family, but both sides of the Colliers and the Robinsons, that have pushed me and supported me over time, right. And then I'm blessed to have that core group of friends who say, okay, well, he is on that journey and so forth. So they will call and check on me. They will ask me, but I that's why I say I'm not gonna say I can't relate to people who say, oh, my friends and family ain't ish or this, that, and another, because God has really truly blessed me in that area.
Right.
Would I like to have more traction from Facebook friends or whatever? Sure, yeah. Because if I got 6,000 folks, then can you imagine what 6,000 people would do if we shared out our content or whatever?
We can go to their friends, to their people, to their people, to their people. But you know what? They rather watch Kim Kardashian, Look, Empire.
You about to shut us down. But that's okay. That's what they need to hear, right?
Right. That's not like I rather they be like, hey, man, did you catch snowfall last night? And I'd be like, nah. Nah, they got enough viewers.
Right. Or look, exactly.
I get 10 of y'all. Just 10 of y'all, please.
Or people literally will be on Instagram or whatever, sharing out the celebrity stuff. And I'd be like, but you do know that they got royalties and every time you click and they getting paid and so forth. I'm just trying to get my services out here.
When you say, look, the 4 of y'all that share my stuff, y'all want something for the stove?
Right. And that's true. The 4 of y'all that shared out my stuff, what you want from the stove?
Yeah, but you know what? I'll say this. Sometimes you'll think people aren't watching, but they are. Because guess what? They'll show up on my list.
Yeah.
And I had one young lady, she has been with me since the beginning. And so over time, we definitely developed a friendship. Yeah. She won't share. When I say nothing, she don't care if it's me. She don't care if it's you. She said, but she will support your business on the other end.
Yeah.
I'll purchase from you this, that, and the third. She said, I'm literally that scroller, but I've been watching you for a while.
Yeah.
So you got different people.
You do. Yeah.
So that's why I said, it used to bother me.
Yeah.
If they're gonna shop with you, they're gonna shop with you.
Yep.
Somebody told me yesterday, they said, hey, so your bag. They gave me some constructive criticism. I appreciate it. They said, so how are we supposed to know how to buy something from you? I said, what you mean? They said your card wasn't in the bag and you didn't have the website on it. Let me tell you what I did. I ran downstairs. Yeah. They were old school. They real old school. So they were paper. They ain't on no social media.
Yeah.
So I ran downstairs and I looked in the bag because I still had a bag for my grand opening.
Yeah.
I said, you know what?
And I didn't even see that. That was in all of your bags?
All of them. So I had the routine for morning and nighttime, and I
Right.
also had a thank you card in there.
Right. I see that. I got that.
None of them had my website on it.
Oh, and I didn't even notice. I just assumed that you had it on there because your other cards have your stuff on it, your
Right.
information, but
I
these didn't.
But see, and see, when we talk about the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and mental health, um, that leading up to that point,
Yeah.
I was on go.
Yeah.
And something happened during the course of a week that threw me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why it's important to write everything down, because that's the one thing I did not have written down. So I
Yeah.
had to call somebody to do my bags for me. And I'm thinking
Okay.
I got everything set up.
Yeah.
Them cards were still sitting in my jacket pocket.
Oh
So
no.
I never put them on the table to go into the bag.
Oh wow. Wow.
So I was like, but you know what? That's what you gotta do sometimes.
Right.
So I said, you know what? No, I appreciate that lesson, God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate that lesson. I said, because I'm glad somebody said something. Because
Yeah.
guess what? Now it's gonna be ingrained to check that stuff. And
Yeah.
guess what? The next celebration we have, we won't forget it.
Right.
And
Right.
we will
Right.
have more celebrations. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And you
we'll
have
have
to
more celebrations.
and you have to appreciate that person coming to you, telling you that versus because that person could have easily, how we do, we like to write these negative Google reviews.
Right.
Well, she didn't have her stuff together, whatever, versus coming to you. And that's what it's like, yo, we could take constructive criticism. That's going to help me or whatnot
Please
versus
do.
being negative, versus
Right.
saying, well, I ain't going to support that business, this, that, and other. And that's what happens. That's why I like to leave the glows and grows on reviews. I don't especially when it comes to Black businesses.
Right.
I'm like that with everybody. It's like, okay, yes, I love this, that, and the other, but however, can you do this, that, and other? I never, unless you are just that really, really bad business. I don't care if you're Black
Right.
or white. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave you that Google review if you are just not trying to rectify the situation.
Right.
But for the most part of it, and again, next week I know you're going to come back with us, and I want to talk about that. How can we really truly support small business? I know the word small because we're just starting off, but how can we really support our small businesses as we grow on this journey? Because we don't give grace to us, our community don't give
Right.
grace to us when it comes to business, and
Right.
so forth. And it's a lot. People just really don't understand because not only on that part of business owning, you got to make sure you're updated with your codes, your permits. Registration is coming up, y'all. Business owners for the state of Georgia, whatnot, is coming up. I think I did the 3-year registration.
That's so it's
So
not a headache for you.
and you know what? You have to make that sacrifice during that time when you have that money to say, hey, go ahead. I'm going to register for the next 3 years. Boom, boom, boom. So that has worked out. So those types of things are coming out. So coming up. So not only do you have to think about the Plush Lab in the products, you got to think about the outside of the business. Like, okay, where's my checklist for this? So you got 1,000,001
Right.
checklist.
Oh yeah. Because then look, I'm telling look, one thing about it is ain't nothing more hurtful than when the subscription you have for your business come out and it's been a little slow.
Right.
People like,
Right.
oh man,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. And writing and being accountable, even with that, we're writing it stuff down in your
Yeah.
calendar. Look, let me put this a couple of days ahead to remind me next year. But those are those what do you call it? Grow and glow.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah,
growing glows. I used to do that.
yeah,
I learned it from my principal. I was like, versus because you get tired of the
right,
negativity and so forth. So it's like, okay, here are your glows of what's going on. Here are your grows, and let's work
right.
from there. Versus like, no, you ain't do this right or
The
that right.
growing pains,
Right.
like
It's like you don't want to hear all of that right now.
right.
You're already like mentally trying to grasp the fact that you just
Look, look. I'm telling you, and sometimes you be like, you know what? And look, and then when you end up being vulnerable,
Yes.
have to be really vulnerable about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I just have to be vulnerable. I'll be like, you know what? I'm tired.
Right.
I said, but guess what though? I said, guess what? I'm about to go celebrate. Let me go to IHOP. Yeah. I'm gonna do something that makes me smile today.
You said IHOP. Look, that's real.
I'm going to IHOP today because that's gonna make me feel good.
Right. And you can get something off the under $10 or whatnot.
Yeah. I was just talking about I love nature trails.
Yeah.
I love nature trails. It's too cold right now to be under them trees, My face can't take it. My neck can't take it. None of the above, But just being outside, man, it feels absolutely amazing,
So for me, that's what I'm working on right now is getting up from the laptop and whatnot and going outside. Because Chef was like, you're not going walking today? I'm like, I have it planned in my head and on my calendar to go walking. But guess what? Something comes up and I'm like, oh, I got to get this out or whatever. That is my goal for this, like getting through this quarter and definitely for next quarter, like really do my walking and get my water intake in because it is, I want to get out there. Yeah, because you got to have that balance. You have to.
Yeah, and it's just habit. It's just habit. It's habit. I think it's habit for a lot of us as entrepreneurs to put ourselves last because we're overcompensating. And so it's like, okay, I gotta take care of this first. I gotta take care of you first. I gotta take care of this first. And it's just like you're on the back burner when it comes to health and wellness.
Yeah.
And we do it all the time. Like I got people to come in and they're literally, you supposed to be getting a daggone facial. They entrepreneurs, they don't know how to turn it off. And I said, oh, I need one of them bars in my spot where you come in and you ain't got no reception.
Hey,
until I flip the switch.
Right. You may have to do that.
Because a lot of times when we wake up and we're like, oh God, I'm so tired. It's because your brain has never turned off.
It
has never turned off. And then you get up, first thing you do would be like, I got to do this. Oh, that email did come in, and we already start working before the sun come up,
Listen, that might be one of your ideas, entrepreneur packages.
What?
You just, like, you're not coming in here working while I'm doing your facial and everything. This is your relaxation.
Right. Look. You need to relax.
Yeah.
Because I got one of them. She got two of them. One of them had a laptop. I lied to you guys. You okay?
I'm trying to work and get my face done.
They was like, I gotta have this deadline in. And I'm like, you're not relaxing though.
Right.
So you do have to do that for yourself because I mean, in my mind, I keep it in my mind. I always when I look back on my life, I want to be like, man, what a journey, what a ride. I don't want to be like, what a lot of work. Oh, look, my I don't know anything about my spouse because I've been working for a long time. I don't know nothing about my kids. What's their name again?
Right.
Because you've been working all that time, I should have got that facial I wanted, or maybe I should have got that massage. I've realized even when I be so tense because I work.
And
they be like, you got a lot of knots in your shoulder. I'm like, I just thought I was built like that. I thought I was built like this, like this all the time. They be like, relax.
Listen, I know I got them. I'm feeling them right here. I got the knots on here. So, that is, listen, when we come back next week, we're definitely going to talk about how to support. Okay, first of all, let me back up because the time is near. And I hate when we have to go, but we are entrepreneurs and you got a business to run. I got a business to run. But before we go, Jenese, I got to say thank you so much for agreeing to come on. And you kicked off January with our first one, and next week is the end of January. And you're going to come back next week, next Monday, same time, same place. And we're going to talk about how to really support entrepreneurs and you're going to give us some tips on how to stay relaxed and what to do. Because again, I want to get out there. I want to, still have that balance and take care of me, because I want to be able to enjoy that moment when I'm saying, whoo, I can go out and I don't and my money is still working for my business is still working while I'm relaxing. I don't want to forget about Chef and my family and forget about me and whatnot. So you're gonna come back next week and you're going to talk to us about how to start that regimen, how to really get into the habit, like you said, of really taking care of yourself. We could tell everybody else how to self-care,
Right.
self-love. I
Right.
got, I am your certified relationship coach, right? And I could tell y'all how to build it, but I got to do it myself, right?
Right.
So as an entrepreneur, I definitely want you to cover that next week and so forth. But before we go, how can we get in touch with you, connect with you? How can we support you?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank you for having me on the show. It is always a blast. It's
Listen,
definitely enjoyable. I mean, this is another part of self-care because I like doing stuff like this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you want to contact me, you can follow me on the Plush Lab on IG. Actually, it's the same across all platforms. So that's IG, that's the Facebook, and that's TikTok. You'll definitely get different versions of me on all three. TikTok lets you have a little bit more fun with it. And so definitely reach out. I do answer questions. If you want to book an appointment, www.theplushlab.com. I definitely look forward to meeting you, but then you're gonna have to learn something, no matter what it is. You have to learn something when you come with me, whether it's how to breathe a little bit or whether it's how to get the dark circles from underneath your eyes, or how to love on you,
Yeah.
relationship advice. Yeah, look, you're gonna get all kind of stuff when you come see me. So all types.
Stan said, I'm going to make sure I follow you. Yes, Sam, make sure you
Yes.
follow. She is my esthetician. And I've been with her over 2 years now going on. And she is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so glad that you, decided to say yes with with the Noonday Nuggets, because again, I need real entrepreneurs. I need real folk to tell us, I don't need that sugarcoating stuff no more. Like,
You
and
don't
I
need.
thank God that I already was in the headspace, like, and that's what made me do it. God is like, okay, just tell the people the real deal, because getting up on IG, you're not gonna put on your lashes, you're not gonna have your hair. Listen, it took me a month to get some funds up just to go get my hair washed and curled and shaven down
Look,
from.
I looked at. I said, oh snap!
So
Okay.
guess what I got to do for the next 2-3 days? I got to make these TikTok videos with my hair done.
look, look, I got so many sitting in my draft when I'm looking at my absolute best. And then some days I'm gonna come in here, I'll be like, oh, let me put some. I'm like, oh, the lips a little white. Let me go put on some. let me look like I'm not barely making it.
Right. And
Sleep.
listen, my nails gonna take a hit. My nails are gonna be, so that means I'm going to go in here after we leave, do my manicure and pedicure. Like, these are sacrifices. And again, we're gonna talk about that next week. The sacrifices, how to support, how to take care of yourself. It's a lot, y'all. But you know what? As I stated before, I would not change this journey. I'm so thankful God placed this vision in me, and I know He placed it in you. And I'm so thankful to have you on this journey as an entrepreneur, that you can call somebody and say, listen, I'm
Look,
this
I need a
close for
hug.
pushing that submit button. What you got for me today? So,
I'm like, look, I got hugs. I'm like, you look like, bring it in, look like you need
right.
one. And sometimes we need that too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
You're
Jenese. And
welcome.
I want you all to make sure you come back next week, same time, same place, for Noonday Nuggets, as we talk remedial entrepreneurship 097. The reality versus IG, y'all. All right. So if you are on this journey, please, please, please make sure you follow and share out. Follow the Jenese at the Plush Lab. Follow me on all social media at Trinette. I am Trinette L. Collier. And my website, I am TrinetteLCollier.com. I am your certified relationship coach. And we're just here to give you the real deal. All right. So until next week, same time, same place. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.